Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Should someone be punished, hurt, for his free speech? So if I don't know, say something you might not like, do you have the right to punish me? I know, like punching me in the face, I know, maybe strangling me, maybe, I don't know, kick me in the balls. And you think that should be a acceptable behavior. If you think that's an acceptable behavior, the next time when you say something that I don't like or someone else doesn't like, can do the same thing to you. So that's why you cannot do these kind of things. That's why free speech is something fantastic if it's defended, protected, and not abused. So what do we have here? We have here an article from Associated Press. An Iraqi man who carried out Quran burnings in Sweden is killed in a shooting. So this guy decided to exercise his, not amendment, because Sweden is as it is, but his free speech as a free human being. And he decided to be offensive to some people who consider whatever he did probably a blasphemy, and by their teaching, meaning that he needs to be. All right, so this guy orchestrated some Quran burnings. Offensive to some, uninteresting to some, and some other people could even support that kind of thing. Did he deserve to be shot or targeted? No, he didn't. But you have many crazies on this planet. The reason why I'm making this video is to show you how some people destroy other countries' culture. How do you destroy it? I don't imply anything here like I know who did it. But I don't think a blue-eyed, blonde, Protestant Swede will have a problem with that action by this guy right here. Now, I have no evidence who did it, but I'm not a baboon. You go to the prime suspect, which is who benefits out of this. So someone eliminated something that was offensive to some. I don't blame communities on this. I blame individuals. Do you remember when it was there were those cartoons published? I think it was Denmark and then France, and some people paid a visit to the guys who published the cartoons, and they killed one or two people over there, journalists. Remember? Now, is this the way you want the world to be? When I was a child, a boy, because I was a boy, not a child, I was a boy with a little dingy-lingy. And it's still there, the little dingy-lingy, but hey, it's playful. So when I was a boy, I learned in school all kind of things, given by the communists first. And then after the communists were overthrown, the free people came into place, and they came with their indoctrination. You're supposed to be tolerant to these perversities or that and so on. But tolerant here, but intolerant there. And in school, in my, I think I read a lot of books. Why do I say a lot of books? Because I compare myself with people that I rub shoulders with and elbows and all that in my life as an adult. And with time I realized that, wait a minute, this guy didn't read shit. Nothing. Where are the guys? And even the guys who pretend they did, you have to understand what you read, not only to memorize. So in my little quest for knowledge, I read a lot of things. I never read the Declaration of Independence at that time of the United States of America or the US Constitution. Why? Because I was indoctrinated or not exposed to those documents, important, in the communist times. I was told about Stalin, Lenin, Marx, things like this. Those were the fantastic people in those times. Ceausescu, the Communist Party, this was the time. That's the way. About the American Revolution, it was, some slave owners, bad people, got a country from a king who's another bad person. Those is exploitation of a man by another man. That was the whole thing about it. So we didn't study that. But interest, personal interest, made me read these documents. And I realized by coming here to the United States of America how important those documents actually are. And I'm talking about here about the freedom of speech. Things that in Romania, where I come from, you would use, people will want, shut up. Stop him from talking. You should not talk. This is the attitude, more or less. More than here, obviously. We have our baboons here as we have our baboons there. The problem is over there, they don't have this idea. Let him speak, man. You don't like it, bring counter-arguments, have a civilized debate, or leave. You feel offended? Nobody cares. I feel offended all the time if I were to have that mindset. I'm offended by your weight, by your face, by your eyes, by your speech, by your tone, by your inflections and so on. I can be and many others. If I want to be insulted and offended, I can be offended at each corner, right? So, in this case, these guys did something. I'm not here to protect anybody or to defend anybody. The only thing is the Swedish culture gets fucked up with shootings because of this kind of things. If that guy wanted to burn a Bible, you don't like it? All right, don't like it. Go to the church and talk about it and go talk to your congregation and so on. If this guy wanted to burn, I don't know, the Torah, the same way. Insulting to some, okay, maybe your little teachings are insulting to many others. Did you think about that one? You're a non-believer. What? Who says we should be a believer in the first place? You see, they already trademarked copyright rights for certain things. You're a believer. I'm insulted my belief. I'm insulted because I'm not a believer. How about that one? Maybe your beliefs insult me, offend me. Am I supposed to go and get involved in such a crime? Some people think it's acceptable. Some people think it's acceptable. It's not acceptable. The problem is, let's read a little bit here, the first paragraph at least. Stockholm. An Iraqi man who carried out several Quran burnings in Sweden has been killed in a shooting near Stockholm, authorities said on Thursday. This guy, 38, staged several burning and desecrations of Islam's holy book, of the Muslims' holy book, not of the humanity. For some, that's not. I'm not talking to insult anybody here. Sweden in 2023, videos of the Quran burning got worldwide publicity and raised anger and criticism in several Muslim nations, leading to riots and arrests in many places. So, should he be stoned to death? Should he be hanged? Should be what? Blasphemy, that's all right? No, he should not in the Western civilization. The Stockholm District Court said in a verdict scheduled Thursday in a trial in which this guy was defended was postponed because one of the defenders had died. A judge of the court confirmed that the deceased was Momika. He said he didn't have any information on when or how he died. Police said that they were alerted to a shooting Wednesday night at an apartment building near Stockholm and found a man with gunshot wounds who later died. All right, well, first, I don't think that this should happen whatsoever. So he came from Sweden, from Iraq, this guy, immigrant, in 2018 and was granted the 3-year residence permit in 2021. Prime Minister Papapap said of Sweden, security services was involved because there is obviously a risk that there is a connection to a foreign power, they say, inside the house, inside Sweden. Momika argued that his protest targeted the religion of Islam, not Muslim people. But hey, you know. He said he wanted to protect Sweden's population from the message of the Quran. Swedish police allowed his demonstrations, citing freedom of speech, while filing charges against him. Last March, he was arrested in neighboring Norway after stating that he would seek asylum there and was sent back to Sweden. He was called defendant and so on. My point is this: you should not be shot dead for your freedom of speech whatsoever. Now, as I said, there are many crazies out there in all groups, all sides. What do you think? I'm not going to, I can look, for instance, at that so-called military blogger, maybe you forgot about him, in St. Petersburg. Remember the guy, is a Russian blogger, a guy like me, let's put it, and who was having a little meeting with his people, his subscribers. And someone brought a package, left it over there, and left, and there was a bomb, and he died. Is that how it works? If you say yes, well, remember, you say many things that could be interpreted as offensive by others. You don't have the right or the perfection or the God-given power to dispense justice. That's why we have laws. We have rules. Remember Daria Dugina. Daria Dugina is the daughter of Alexander Dugin, a Russian philosopher, professor. He didn't shoot anybody, but his statements made some people very upset. So they decided to eliminate him. Who are those? Ukrainians. He was not in a war with Ukraine. He just said he had freedom of speech. Whatever he said. And they tried to blow his car out. And what they did, or off. What happened? His daughter was driving his car and they activated that and she died. Why? Because she was also a journalist at a news agency and she said things that some people did not like. I always revert to this. If you think that, oh, that's a blah, 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 you say many things that I could be very, very angry about. It doesn't mean I'm going to hurt you for your freedom of speech and freedom of expression. Well, that's why the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence of the United States of America is one of the fantastic documents. And I'm not kissing ass to anybody because I didn't expect to really, not really to read it and understand it. Oh my God, this was written in freaking 18th century when people still believed and still believe in witches and things like this, still believe that cats, black cats bring you ooh and all that. And right now there are people, many of them who really believe that, or I don't know, if I turn around, he's going to help me and I'm going to be back. Okay. All right. So when I read it, that was in the 18th century written documents. Those are like Magna Carta thing. That's how they, of that, even, I mean, the same, I would put them on the same par, but deeper, much deeper. And then what struck me is when I came to the United States of America and I saw how these guys acted. Well, let him talk. I mean, that's his opinion. It was natural. And I come from Romania where your opinion would be like, shut up, I'm going to punch you, shut up, stop him, you should not be allowed to talk. That was the mainstream culture. I don't care. You can tell me whatever. I lived it in Romania. I lived it. And I just visited last year and the same garbage is over there. That's why I said that Romania needs a cultural revolution. Not like the Chinese Mao's revolution, the big or the great leaps. Not that kind of revolution I'm talking about. It needs a cultural revolution. And here people from the very beginning, you don't tell me what to say. I heard this so many things, like, and everybody bowed down. It was not like debatable. Now it is, because we have these little communist pussies who try to push another ideology on us. So my point is, don't go violent for freedom of speech, because that could happen to you. That's the easiest way to understand it. You get offended, I get offended. Doesn't mean that we just get at it. Now, if we agree upon it, I'm all for it. I agree. If we have a problem, to solve it alone, you and I, somewhere in the woods or somewhere, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. But not like I'm walking down and you come from behind and shoot me in the back of my head. And then you think you're a hero. Anyway, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.